Thank you so much, and it's a great pleasure to be here with you at the Iraq-Britain Business Council to say thank you to Lord Howe very much for moderating the discussion we will have after I speak, to welcome the Minister here, who gives such distinguished service to his country, and perhaps if you'll allow me to say a special word of thanks to Baroness Emma Nicholson for the work that she does, but also for the courage that she's shown, for her commitment, her dedication, and her absolute and unfailing loyalty to the people of Iraq. Emma, thank you so much for everything that you have done and are doing still. So this conference, I know, is one of several taking place that highlight the economic opportunity Iraq presents for the future. For Britain, of course, but also for investors from all over the world. Today in particular is a follow-on from the IBBC conference in Baghdad at the end of September. Now, as you all know, the challenges that Iraq still faces are obvious. Continuing security problems of terrorism, especially around Baghdad. Services and infrastructure still far below what they can and should be. And bureaucracy and corruption in Iraq as elsewhere, a major source of discontent. And of course, the political tensions remain high and often lead to paralysis when the country urgently needs movement. There is also, of course, the turmoil in the region, not least in Syria. So the difficulties are manifest, and we all know them. But this series of conferences is happening for a reason. There has also been progress. It is important not to exaggerate it. It is equally important not to ignore it. The economy of 2012 in Iraq is several times the size of 10 years ago. Growth this year will be 9%, and Iraq is set to be one of the fastest growing economies in the world over the next decade. As someone was saying to me the other day, a government worker is paid now on average around 4 times what they were 10 years ago in real terms. Oil revenue now stands at $100 billion per annum and is set to treble by 2020. Last month, Iraq surpassed Iran as an exporter of oil. Iraq's central bank now has the biggest reserves in its history, and Baghdad's stock exchange, with over 80 companies listed, will, we hope, be joined by Basra in due course. And Basra itself, as its governor recently remarked, is set for major changes over the next few years. A renaissance, he called it. 3 new satellite towns of 100,000 homes each, 60 projects for electricity underway to treble power production, a doubling of the schools and universities. And contracts are also now being drawn up for tenders for new roads, bridges, and railways. The port and the airport are on their feet and growing in business and trade. This is, of course, partly funded through the oil revenue, now retained by Basra for its own use. Excuse me. Child mortality in Iraq is at 30 deaths per 1,000, higher than it should be, but hugely below what it was. Healthcare also needs massive investment, and there are ambitious plans for it. Thank you very much. In the northern part of Iraq, which is significant autonomy, as you know, we can see what the presence of security and the absence of a political logjam can do. Even as the world teeters on the brink of recession, it is enjoying an unprecedented boom, not least in trade with Turkey. South Korea was the #1 foreign investor with $12 billion worth of investment in 2011. Shanghai Electric has signed a $1 billion power plant deal in Wasit province. There are hugely ambitious plans for investment for all of Iraq in new terminals, refineries, and pipelines. So these are all compelling reasons for Britain and British investment to be part of Iraq's future. But naturally, in addition to the economic and industrial reasons, British forces helped liberate Iraq from Saddam, and for years, with much heroism and sacrifice, helped Basra survive the sectarian aftermath. They should be proud of what they achieved,